Hello, this video is going to walk you through the steps, the basic steps on what you're going to need to know to write a linear equation. So I have some things written on the screen right now, one of which is our first instruction. To solve a linear equation, we must first have our general formula, which I have it in black there. It's y equals m times x plus b. That's our general form, but we need to know what some of the stuff stands for inside the equation. So we're going to start off with some instructions on that. M stands for the slope. We have a variable b, which stands for the y-intercept. We have an x, which represents a x value on the line, and we have a y, which represents a y value on the line. Okay, and with these four variables, the only things that we're really concerned about finding are m and b. We want to find m and b, and that's it. X and y will stay as variables. Now, sometimes it's in our benefit to change x and y as values. In some examples in another video, I'm going to show you what that situation would be. If you're given two ordered pairs, or if you're given the slope, you're given the slope and you're given one ordered pair, you can use the x and y's to find out what your y-intercept is. But once we've found our y-intercept and we've found our slope, we're going to leave x and y as variables when we write our equation. Okay, so that breaks down what the general formula is and what some of the variables stand for. Other things we need to kind of talk about are ordered pairs. Describing what an ordered pair is, these are very, very simple because they're always predictable. They don't change very much. Okay, the only thing that really changes are the numbers, but the way we read them stays constant. So if we had an ordered pair like the ordered pair 2, 3 written on your screen here, we would always know that the x value was first and the y value is second. Any ordered pair, we can always tell what the x value is going to be. So we could always say that the x is the first value, in this case 2, and that the y equals the 3, or the second value. Okay. So any ordered pair, the first number is going to be your x, the second number is going to be your y coordinate. But what if you had two ordered pairs? So we had, say, 9, 3, 9, 3, and 6, 4. We had two ordered pairs. In our slope formula, which we're going to talk about in just a second, in our slope formula we're going to be given two ordered pairs like this. And we need to distinguish between the different x's and the different y's. So we use a thing called subscripts. And I'm going to go back and make the subscripts, but right now these are just going to appear as normal numbers. Okay, so we'd have our x1, y1, and x2, y2. Okay, now that those are subscripts, we can kind of use this to tell which ordered pair goes with what. Okay, I have my 9, 3 ordered pair, okay, and this is my first group. So we're always going to say that our first group goes with our x1, y1. Okay, still we always have that our x is first and our y is second. When we have two ordered pairs, we have to make some kind of distinction between the two x's and the two y's we have. So we use these subscripts. So we know that our x1, and again, I'm going to go back and make these subscripts. our x1 equals 9, our x2 equals 6, and our y1 equals 3, and our y2 equals 4. And that's going to be very useful to us when we use our slope formula. Okay, the reason this is going to be so useful to us when we have our slope formula is the slope formula actually uses subscripts. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I've been talking about with the slope formula. When we have our slope formula, we know that the variable m equals slope. So that's why I'm going to write m equals, we have a fraction bar, and we have y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So you'll see here that we've used subscripts to represent this equation, inside this equation. So if we were trying to find the slope, we would have to know what y2 was, what y1 was, what x2 was, and what x1 was. Okay. So let's do a small example. Let's go ahead and let's use the problem we had up here. Okay, so what I would want to do is I would want to go into my formula, and I would want to create, instead of using the subscripts, I would want to replace those variables with their values. So I would need to know that my y2, okay, is my second y value. This is my first group because it's the first one I come onto when I'm going from left to right. So I need to go to my second y, which is 4, minus my first y, which is 3, over or divided by my second x, which is 6, minus my first x, which is 9. Okay, so I have 4 minus 3, which is 1, over 6 minus 9, which is a negative 3. Another way we could write this is a negative 1/3. And then I would have that my slope equals negative 1/3. Okay, and that's just a quick run through on what we would need to write a linear equation.